Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Welcome back to the channel. My name is James Ward, head pro at Dewsbury Golf Club, and today I'm still on the search to whether or not I should change my driver for 2025. And today's testing club is the Titleist GT3. So I haven't really tried this out much, but I've got a feeling that it could be the club to gain me a few extra yards off the tee, but by keeping the consistency and the quality of the off-centre hits up there. So keeping my tight dispersion as well, which is going to be very hard to beat with my Qi10 Max, which I've stayed with so far this year. Not because Rory has, because I haven't found one that is hitting it any better. So I've been down on our practice range, gathering some data, plenty of shots hit. Quite interesting results, not what I kind of expected, but now we're on the course. We're going to hit some tee shots, hit some drives, and then discuss the numbers as well. So we're going to make it as fair as possible. I've got some Titleist Pro V1s that I've been using. Great. Obviously new ball, as we've seen as well. So Titleist 2s are going to be with this Qi10. So we'll just play a few tee shots, because we've got some data, but I sometimes think you can be swinging a little bit wild on that to try and gain some sort of results. But here we're going to try and obviously play performance, try and swing it well and hit these fairways. And that's the first one with the Qi10. I tell you what, I'm going to tell you now, that was unbelievable. The data and the shots are interesting, actually, when we're hitting these in the net, and then we moved to the GT3. But that's what this driver gives me. You can just hit it arrow straight. A little bit down that left side, but still well within as dispersion on that, and a long way as 2 up this hole. So Titleist 3 for the GT3. We're going to go up there and see where they've gone. Very different shape. We'll put a picture on now of the shapes of the clubs. Ooh, it's another belter that. Felt a bit different off the face. Wonder if that's gone further. This is where the true sort of test comes in, I think. Hey, Rod, you alright? Yeah, great. So straight shot, but was well hit out the toe there. So it did still give us that forgiveness off that off-centre edge, but obviously lost a bit of distance. But as you can see from the ball flight, kept it straight. So let's go and see where they've ended up. So we're up here, second fairway. There's 3 here. What? 3 drives here. So the GT3 one here, if we can show you sort of where we are. We are literally straight down the middle here, second hole. GT3 here, toe strike, which just held that ball flight perfectly, exactly how you'd want. So like that off-centre hit. Qi10, GT3, both boomed out the middle, nothing to separate them really. We've got one over there near Dazzler, which is pulled left, so it's obviously gone a bit further, a little lower, a little spin, a little more run onto it. Obviously the bad shot comes from me, so this just shows about the test, because we're going to come on some numbers in a second, which really shows how that GT3 has become inconsistent. But a test for sort of numbers can sometimes be a bit, not really as, what's the word, like efficient almost. Not really as efficient almost, because like now I'm trying to hit a fairway, I've boomed 2, we're happy with that, that's well within dispersion, just caught that semi-rough, but there's nothing really much, you know, nothing much here to separate them. You know, 2 good hits with it, off centre it's still good. So let's go to another hole and see that. But the GT3 has both shocked me with the numbers, which I'll come on to shortly, and it's also shocked me with on the course test now of how good I think of it really is. So interesting. It's always interesting when you test a product now on the golf course, because here we've got some, obviously, like, we've got some dangers in. OB left, can't be going right. Pick a target, lock in. We'll start with GT3 this time, just to mix it up a bit. Same golf balls, Pro VX. See, that's not a great strike, but look at that ball flight. Little low heel there. Okay, we've lost distance, but I think sometimes that's what you can chase. Like on the launch monitor earlier, GC Quad, I think sometimes you're trying a new driver, so we're trying to put too much into this to try and make it improve my current driver, when that is just a great golf shot. And there, when we get older one in the middle, got that higher ball flight. The ball is probably going to end the finish in a similar spot, but 2, you know, dead straight shots. If the shot trace is shown and pops up on there, same ball flight. So very easy to hit. And I suppose it is just making sure you're dialing in your ball flight and hitting certain numbers from that swing. So now we've got the Qi10. I've got the same shaft in this because I actually got fitted for that Titleist shaft in a TS2. And then I've just said, you know, my drivers since then have been fitted again, but we've sort of, that's been the sort of starting point. So same with the Qi, like a mirror. Low heel strike. Just bouncing round there. Can we get the full set? Can we get the full set before we discuss the numbers? That's just rolled all the way down. At least it'll be easy to pick them up. Target picked. You can see the twig in the distance. Then we've got older one there as well. Really good strike. The difference has really come into that with the head size. Like now, this fills me with confidence looking down at it. I mean, it is like a frying pan, this Qi10 Max, but that's a bit more tour inspired, smaller head. Would I want to look down at that? But it's just showing that how easy it is still to hit. The forgiveness off it, the off-centre hits, which are good. So let me show you the numbers from the GC Quad. Go down there, see where they are, because they're quite interesting, really. So here we are, white tees. Look at these 3 babies. 3 drivers. So we've got 2 Qi10, a GT3 there, and that's the GT3 that popped up and like super launched up and is absolutely, well, like an absolute rocket ship. So not too much here, because as we know, if we've played the course, they all pitch up around there and just fall back, but it must have meant that one went a little further than the Qi10, but there's not really too much to separate them. So let me just grab my iPad and we'll go on these numbers. So then we dive into these numbers. First thing I'm seeing, GT3, a big spread. Qi10, and we had a few ghost balls. I really don't know why they're saying no yards, but anyway, you know, we've got them there, very sort of consistent, but I am used to it, which I think does help the situation with them. But, you know, ball speed numbers on this left column, very similar, nothing much to separate them really. You know, there we've got, that's the longest with the GT3, GT2, Qi10, 292 there. So, but even that, there's not too much to think, right, I'll change on that. But I don't know. I just thought I might get something mega out of it here, really. But then when we go across to the dispersion, that's the GT3. That's what's going to worry me. They're like that. And I think here today, it's okay hitting balls out here, but I've just got 4 balls, 4 drivers, hitting them down a hole. There's not too much pressure on me, although I am filming. You know, I don't want to hit it all over. Then that's the Qi10. Okay, 1 rogue, 1 left. But on that, a very good spread. So, you know, we can't really honestly say we're going to be changing drivers from that, but I think now from bringing it onto the golf course, that's when you can really see whether the driver is going to be right for you, because you can step on that tee. Does it give you the confidence to hit it down a hole, to hit the fairway with it? It's okay chasing that distance, and I think that's where I'm potentially falling in the trap of, because I'm wanting more out my driver when, you know, we've got the consistent ball speeds, everything with the QI there, great. I mean, 40, the average offline, 40 cent. I suppose I don't really know how that works out, but you know, we've got 4 yard, 2, 4, 5, 16, 19, even them, they're down fairways. Then we picked up that GT3 and then we were going a bit all over. But that's why I wanted to bring it on the golf course, because I did feel like there was potential you're chasing that extra numbers down there in the nets, especially when you've got your GC quad in your hand, because that is the only thing we're kind of focusing on. Whereas out here, it's just hitting fairways. Okay, you might say that GT3 goes a little bit further, but it's probably a drive that's maybe for that. The Qi10 Max is for forgiveness, is for better shots all over the face, super forgiving. But I don't know, I've used it for a full year and I've absolutely loved it. And I think, like Rory, I think I'm going to keep it for now, because if it ain't broke, then we aren't going to try and fix it. We're going to keep playing golf. So, interesting little test that I thought you'd bring. I had an idea, not quite worked out, but we're still happy with what we've got. I think that's the beauty of changing drivers. Okay, for numbers, try and see if you can get, like when we do fittings, we try them there and we try and take them out onto the course as well, just to make sure we're happy with it. But yeah, when we're trying drivers, it's not only looking at these numbers, it's also, can you consistently hit the dispersions on that little chart? And if your test looks a little bit like that, that's when it might be the wrong club and you can change something, because even a shaft change can help that as well, but we won't come on to that just now. But yeah, any comments, let me know below. Thank you for watching, guys. We're sticking with the Qi10 Max for now. We're going to keep on golfing. We'll see you next time.